Hello and welcome. Here we are, December 22nd. We are fully into winter. What a crazy game that was. Cooper Cup went off, so hopefully you weren't playing against him. If you were, I'm sorry. He destroyed you. He destroyed you if you were. 20-10 was the final in that game. I had a chance to cash out. Let the lesson be always cash out when you're taking the underdog, baby. You don't go broke by putting money in your pocket. All right, fish and bread, keep a poor man fed, all that stuff. 20-10, Russell Wilson just didn't have what it took. Just fell apart late in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they couldn't control the clock. They couldn't move the ball, and the Rams were able to utilize that to their advantage. The Rams do not look like a good team to me. Their offensive line can be beat. They can be beat if you run the ball on them. If you can just pound and pound the ball like we saw several teams do, then you can beat them as well. I do not think the Rams. I don't think Matthew Stafford's going to have a playoff win after this season. Let's just say that. I don't care who they play. Once they win in the division, you're not going to win. They don't look good. DJ Dallas had 8 carries for 41 yards. Rashad Penny had 11 for 39. Dallas had the touchdown on the run. Russell Wilson had a touchdown pass. Gerald Everett 4 for 60. Nice, man. He came along nice. And I believe some really popular people that get paid hundreds of thousands and claim to win millions of dollars said Gerald Everett is the worst player on the field every time he's on the field. He's worse than Will Disley. He's worse than Rashad Penny. He's worse than DJ Dallas. Those guys have no idea what they're talking about. He led the team in passing yards. He had 4 receptions. I don't know what they're talking about. DK Metcalf had 6 receptions for 52 yards. Russell Wilson just does not have any rhythm with DK Metcalf. If those passes would have been Tyler Lockett, they would have been dropped right in the basket. DK Metcalf he doesn't move like Tyler Lockett, and I don't think Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf is it like everybody's like, oh, Russell Wilson throws the deep ball better than everybody. He's so good. He missed DK Metcalf. He missed Eskridge twice. He missed Freddie Swain a couple of times. Russell Wilson, he's hurt. He doesn't throw the best up. He throws a good deep ball to who? Tyler Lockett. Go show me the highlight where he's throwing a deep ball to somebody else in the past 2 or 3 years. It ain't there. Sorry. You got to start calling a spade a spade. Eskridge was missed on so many. I needed him so bad. Jordan Brooks, I told you guys he's a linebacker stud. I told you that when he was coming out of college out of Texas Tech. I said, Green Bay, go draft that man. We need him so bad. No, we didn't get him. Jordan Brooks, 11 tackles on the day. Quandre Diggs, 1 interception, 7 tackles. Bobby Wagner, 6 tackles. That's about it. Oh, no. Carlos Dunlap had 3 sacks. Excuse me. He got to Matthew Stafford again and again and again. He just beat Andrew Whitworth, his old teammate. He beat him bad. He embarrassed him. Rashawn Green also had a sack as well. Moving it over to the Rams. Matthew Stafford, 21 for 29. Look at that accuracy rate. 244 yards. What the hell? 244 yards. I don't know what's going on here. Well, he was efficient. They ran the ball some. And let's see, Washington versus Philadelphia. Gilbert, 20 for 31, 194, no touchdowns. Antonio Gibson, 15 carries for 26 yards. Everybody was so happy about him. Jarrett Patterson, 4 for 20. DeAndre Carter, 1 for 12. Terry McLaurin had 2 catches for 51 yards, completely shut down. Antonio Gibson, 6 for 39. Ricky Seals-Jones, 4 for 29. The rest of everybody just doesn't even have 30 yards. Bates, 1 for 29. Humphries, 3 for 23. Sims, 1 for 13. Carter, 2 for 12. Some guy named Dak, 1 for -2. Highest tackler was Jeremy Reeves, 12 tackles. Probably earned himself a very nice roster position. Cole Holcomb, 10 tackles. Jermaine Davis, 10 tackles. Jonathan Allen, 7 tackles, 1 sack. Man alive. Good game. I thought he was going to have a bad one. Landon Collins, 4 for 2 and a pick. Landon Collins. I told you he was going to have a good game. He was in the player pine. Just good stuff over there in that game, man. NFC East Cowboys clinched the division with the win. Can't ask for much more than that, my friends. All right, let's get right down to the power rankings. Week 16 power rankings, nothing changed at the top. It's Green Bay. Green Bay's been the best team in the NFL the past 2 years. They've been the top power rankings of mine since I really started this back up. And nothing's going to change. I don't think Cleveland's going to present a problem. Minnesota could present a problem. But they're going to kind of breeze through with Tampa Bay losing and them owning the tiebreaker over Arizona. And Tampa Bay now having 2 divisional losses, I'm pretty sure. I think they have 3 conference losses no matter what. I think Green Bay just has to win 2 of their next 3 to clinch home field advantage, which is pretty crazy. And if they get it this year, and if there's just a little bit of snow, I mean, if that Tampa Bay game, like it was literally like perfect football weather, it was like 40 something degrees, clear. We can't have that if we're going to win. We need the snow, we need the cold, we need teams going and sitting on that bench a long time and then just mentally tapping out. That's how Green Bay's going to have to get to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to happen. Kansas City Chiefs, my number 2 team. I was dogging them when they were down, and then I started saying, this defense is getting better. And then all the popular media started saying, hey, this defense isn't bad, instead of just putting it all on their darling boy Mahomes. No, it's their defense. They didn't really show out too much against the Los Angeles Chargers, but the Chargers just have the Chargers have no defense, and they're just going to try to outscore you. That's their mantra. The Chiefs will play good defense if they think that's a way to beat you. They're number 2. Number 3, the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, I moved them up. I had them number 5. I think that a lot of people were a little upset about that last week. I knew they were going to beat the Patriots before the lines even came out. They did do that. They have a great running game. They have a great quarterback. They have a great defense. Carson Wentz can complete 5 passes and they still beat you. They beat the number 1 team in their conference by throwing 5 passes in a dome. They weren't even outside. They were in a dome. It's not like the Buffalo game where they had the wind effect. Oh no, Frank Wright sent a message to everybody in the AFC like, hey, we're healthy. Guess what? We're going to be able to run the ball down your throat with JT. Oh, guess what? I have 2 stud linebackers. Oh, guess what? I have an all-pro defensive tackle. Oh, guess what? I have an all-pro corner. I have an all-pro safety. I have an all-pro corner. Colts are going to be good. They were my preseason prediction to win the AFC conference. Green Bay versus the Colts. If you can still make that bet up, who you think going to play the Super Bowl? Go do it, baby. That's so Number 4, Arizona Cardinals. They look bad. They look really bad. But the truth is, I don't know who looks good in the NFC besides the Green Bay Packers. The Cardinals are like lost, their last 3 out of the 6 games or whatever. Tampa Bay couldn't even put up a point. I mean, don't get me wrong, that Saints defense is stymied. I mean, they stymied Green Bay and they stymied Tampa Bay twice. But for Tampa Bay to not even be able to put up a point, that's bad. And now they've lost Godwin. They've lost some other people. Their secondary was already ravished. I don't think Tampa Bay has what it takes to make another playoff run because we've seen what Tom Brady can do when he doesn't have anything. It's nothing. He can't complete passes. He can't outduel a team that if his defense isn't good. So we know who Tom Brady is. He's the ultimate team player. Says all the right things, but he can't carry people. Promise you that. Number 4, Arizona Cardinals. Like I said, is pretty tough for me, but I can't think of a good. Dallas doesn't look good. They won They won their division. They don't look good. Arizona doesn't look good. Tampa Bay is kind of streaky. Where am I going to go? Minnesota, Philadelphia, New Orleans. I can't do that. They're not top 5 power ranking teams. So Arizona, maybe they can right the ship, get a little better. I just think that their offense is just having a lot of woes, but they're still number 4. Number 5, it was hard, but I think Buffalo's going to out-edge the New England Patriots this week. I think Buffalo's got a little bit more momentum on their side, and they desperately need to win this game. If they win this game, they can get back in division contention, win the division, get that home game in Buffalo, which is going to matter, particularly if you're playing against a good team in the AFC, and those 3 wildcard teams could have 9-10 wins. So just take a look at what it's worth. San Francisco's looking good to me. They're 8-6. They're back on it. You got to watch out for them too. They barely didn't make the list, but they're gonna have to beat somebody more than the Atlanta Falcons to really make a substantial jump up on that list. So there you have it. Green Bay, Kansas City, Indianapolis, Arizona, and Buffalo. Those are my top 5 power rankings. At me, I don't care. You can argue with me all you want about it. I know football better than 99% of the people out there, and I'll always hang my hat on that. All right. Let's take a look when we move forward. Not a lot to talk about on the bets. I usually know this episode is usually more about the charity league. So let's just talk about that. Let's see who all advanced. Well, we'll save that for tomorrow because I like going more in depth about it. It's usually today. Everything's out of whack because the NFL wanted the LA Rams. They even said it last night. I can't believe they said it and they didn't really admit that it was a big deal. Well, Los Angeles, Sean McVay went and told the NFL he had 30 players and he may not be able to roster a field full of players. Bullshit! You have practice squad players. You can go sign people off the streets like everybody else. Who the fuck are you kidding, man? Like the NFL panders so much, and you can watch it during that game. That game went on it because of Sean Hockley. I normally do not complain about the rest. Sean Hockley loves to get his face on camera so much. That Hockley family. I mean, my God, his father was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a referee. When you're a referee, you're not supposed to be really known. You're supposed to just be watching the game, making sure it goes well. But no, the Hockey Leagues are going to make sure they get on TV. They called that. They didn't call the pass interference against DJ Dallas, and you could totally tell it got there before DJ Dallas kicked the ball. They got a 15-point penalty turnover, and Rams went on to kick a field goal. And Seattle never wanted to score another point. It's crazy how it. When I went back last year and I talked about my friend Jordan, and we're all white, so we all had money on the defensive player over here. I'm like, I'm watching the show live. I'm like, TJ Watt, TJ Watt, I'm about to win a lot of money, four-figure money, because I just had confidence in TJ Watt from the very beginning of the year, and they gave it to Aaron Donald, and I was like, well, he had a decent year, my friend was always like, they pandered to Aaron Donald. They pandered to Aaron Donald. The truth is, they pandered to the Rams. Because now I can see, I won't be surprised if Matthew Stafford wins some kind of comeback player of the year award over Dak Prescott, or if somehow they give the Rams some recognition because they want SoFi, they want LA so bad. I mean, did you hear the game? You could hear the game with the Rams. And when they were on, like when the Seahawks would get a first down, when the Seahawks got the touchdown, when a penalty went the Seahawks' way, the crowd would roar. They would roar. And it's the Seahawks. It's not even like a big team. Seattle's not like a big market. There aren't just like a whole lot of Seattle fans 10 years after they won their fucking Super Bowl all over the place. They want LA to be established so bad. They want the Rams to be good. They want their fan base to be there because they LA, like the NFL went all in on LA. Jerry Jones said, we need a team in LA. So they started responding. They put two teams there, not one, but two, so that they could validate SoFi Stadium because they've had so much problems keeping an LA football team there because there's so much more stuff you can do in LA. There's like an infinite amount of things to do in LA besides go watch a bad football team. So they're going to make sure that the Chargers are good. They're going to make sure the Rams are good. They've been pandering to them. Now I see it. It's not Aaron Donald. It's the Rams. That penalty showed it to me. The moving of the games back showed it to me. If it would have just been the Browns, they would have said, you know what? Y'all are getting y'all's ass out there. Y'all are playing the Raiders. I don't care about that. But because Sean McVay, the NFL's darling, his grandfather was in the NFL, you're talking 60 years ago, 50 years ago, Sean McVay, the little darling, oh, he's such a cute little boy. He runs such a good offense. We all love him so much. Let's make sure that he gets all the players he needs so he's playing that good Seattle team. Who's at 4-8? You couldn't have beat a 4-8 team. You are 5-9 now, or whatever the hell they are. You couldn't have beat one of the worst teams, a top 10 draft pick team, because of your COVID players. You're not a good coach, my friend. You ain't done nothing since Wade Phillips has been there. And the NFL still panders to you and your team. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how bad they want the Los Angeles Rams to be good. Because they went all in on SoFi. They have NFL quarter studios there. They have other channels have studios there. They have built. Did you see how much they pump up that stadium? And they don't really talk about the Raiders Stadium at all. None. And I think the Raiders Stadium is a far more impressive looking stadium. I think it's beautiful. It's a black gym. Nobody's ever been that bold to just put an all black stadium in the desert. No, let's talk about SoFi, so beautiful, it's so amazing. We're here in LA. They tried to show the picture of the LA a cityscape. You couldn't even freaking see it because it was so smog filled. I just don't get it. I don't get the smell A love. Let smell A drown in smell A, bro. But the NFL, I'm telling you, keep this in for all your bets going forward. I should have cashed out on my bet. But the calls are gonna go the Rams' way. And now I don't think about it, even in the Packers game last year, they made several calls in that game that Green Bay was just dominating to try to keep Los Angeles relevant in that game. They're gonna do everything they can to make the Rams and the Chargers good so that the fan base will show up to the games. That's why, because if not, SoFi is going to be an utter disaster. And if the owners are losing money, the owners make money. They don't care who's in the seats. I don't think they really care. The owner of the Rams, the owner of the Chargers, they don't seem like very vested, community-driven kind of owners to me. They were told, hey, you need to move your team to LA so we can generate money on that. And we can start having Super Bowls and stuff like that in LA. And they're like, oh, yeah, because it's a social organization. The owners all agree. They all have to meet. They all have to agree on something big as that. And that's like, oh, yeah, I'll be your puppet, Jerry Jones. I'll be your puppet. let's go move and build a big, beautiful stadium, and nobody even know who we are. They don't care who's in the stands. They just want LA to be good so that they don't have to move the stadium. So these franchises don't have to move again out of LA because it is very difficult to have an NFL fan base in LA. You know why? They already got two basketball teams. They already have a successful hockey team. They got miles of beaches. They have entertainment. They have concerts every freaking day of the year. They have beautiful weather. You know, you can go mountain biking, you can go skiing like an hour away. It's just hard to do it. And the NFL went all in on it. They are all in, and they're going to put all their eggs in that basket. So from a betting standpoint, make sure from a betting standpoint, you watch it against the Rams, you watch it against the Chargers, because the NFL is going to do everything they can from officiating to setting up the schedule to even changing protocol mid freaking week so that they can have a team ready. Well, I don't know if I have enough players to roster the field. I'm Sean McVay. Don't let them do this to me, please. Please don't let them do this to me. I'm Sean McVay. Well, they're not going to let that do that to you, Sean McVay. That's all I got to say about today. LA Rams pandered by the NFL. Crappy Tuesday games. But hey, we got playoffs. We're going to talk about sleeper tomorrow. Let's get going with that. You guys take care. Have a wonderful day. Peace.